Om Shanti. My name is Zbyszek. I'm from Gdańsk, Poland, and I would like to share some experiences from my experimentation on animal communication through thoughts, through feelings. So you can call it telepathic or intuitive animal communication. I'm more than 30 years with Baba, and my background is animal farming, and I'm a nature lover and an ornithologist, bird lover. So my interest started when I saw the movie Animal Communicator with Anna Breitenbach, and I started my own experiments in Oxford GRC during the renovation time, when I've been going through the forest on my bike to the Murli, to Sangam. Every day there were peasants pausing on the path, and bike for them was quite fast, so they were started and flying off rapidly, 25-30 meters away from the path. And at some point I pick up their request if I could warn them beforehand so they need not be frightened. So I did. I've been sending a message. I'm coming. I'm coming. And imagine that they were going out of the path half a meter, 1 meter, just waiting till I pass by and returning to their spot and staying there, doing something important for them. I suppose they were meditating. I had such a feeling. And some professional animal communicator share, like grandma of animal communicator, the American that is now in her 90s. So she started in 70s promoting the animal communication. Penelope Smith is her name. And she shares in her books that her tortoise during hibernation was meditating, and that was benevolent meditation. So bringing deep wisdom, values, that kind. So there are many materials in the internet one can look when you type in animal communication, telepathic or intuitive. There will be plenty of movies in YouTube, so you can support for yourself. And I would say that animals are much more receptive nowadays than we are regarding picking up the attitudes, thoughts, the feelings from distance even. They really much more than us. And they understand everything. I've been working with various animals. I've been working with horses and with cows. And for example, when working with horses, every day I had to take them to the pasture and bring back. That was a hotel for 40 horses. And there was a case I remember when going with 3 mares. One of them had quite long, dark hair, not typical for the horse and looking a bit diabolic for me, resembling the creatures that orcs from Tolkien stories were riding on. And I had these thoughts in my mind, and suddenly I hear her saying everyone looks somehow. So a bit shame, because I realized that she picks up my thoughts and I do not control them fully. So I gathered me somehow and became more soul conscious. And after a while, I noticed that, well, we are going back home to the stable, and I remember names of the two mares, but forgot the name of the third one. This one with long hair, dark hair. So I asked her, I don't remember was it in thoughts or verbally, I asked her, excuse me, what's your name? And that was crucial because on the boxes, you have the names of the horses, but you need to know whom you are leading. And I heard an answer, Hossa. So I was safe. And there were many cases like that. Often when changing direction with horses going to the stable, I mean just using my thoughts and telling them, please turn left or turn right. And they've been following. And they really understand everything, because when you have to maneuver three horses, take one after another from its box, there are two others that, waiting for you, and you need somehow to manage them. I've been telling them in a whisper everything, what we're doing, why we're doing, asking them to go backward, forward, stay, some more, and they've been following everything, like understanding every word, every word. Also, there was such a case with Stallion Aslam. He was not such a big paddock, but he was always throwing away the water from his drinker. And I was pouring the water in for him to have something to drink. But after a moment, the drinker was turned over, water was gone. And imagine I'm standing in front of his box and asking him to give a head so that I can put the halter on. But he refuses to give a head. So I ask him once more, second time, third time, and still nothing. So I started joking and teasing him a bit, saying, come on, Aslam, you will go to the paddock, you will throw out the water, it will be fun. And at that very moment, I hear him saying, don't laugh at me, I can't help it. So the tears welled in my eyes. And animals, they are ready for sacrifice for us. They are serving us consciously out of their own choice. Every farmer knows that if the cow is somehow really stubborn and decides that she won't move, you can kill her and she won't move. So it is her choice, out of her choice, that she follows, that she obeys the order, and they want to serve. So every animal has a role, and in medieval ages, when researchers found Inuits, they called them Eskimo. So they found out that they have some kind of worship of whales, and that's it. But looking closely, I found out that they were gathering and asking the whale if one of them could come close and enable them to hunt him so that they could feed their families. And after such a request, the Inuits are not the only ones. Among other indigenous people, like in Australia, they're also asking antelopes if one of them Or in Africa, if one of them, of the herd, could come close to the village and leave it tracks so that they can follow and kill it to feed their families. And that works. So, coming back to the whales, after this request, the hunter goes to the sea in kayak. You know, the kayak is like 6 meters long, 7, and the whale is 100 times bigger. So if it wanted to defend himself, it would be not a problem at all. But the hunter goes to the sea, and as old Inuit people describe it, the whale comes and swims under the kayak, and it checks if the hunter is not greedy, if all the ornaments are properly done, if there is a neat and order in the kayak, and if so, the whale emerges near the kayak, enabling hunter to strike with his harpoon. And there is a pain, so the whale merges again. But after a while, it emerges so that hunter can strike once more, and the whale can complete his mission. And when I read about it, I realized that they are going against the survival instinct, that they must not be under the influence of ego, that they must work out of soul consciousness. And realizing this, that they are so good, so altruistic, I couldn't sleep all night. And in the morning, when I went for bath, my heart flew to the whales, and I asked them, how you can be so good, how you do it, why you do it. And the answer came, you are social as we do, and you live in families as we, so we love you. That was the answer. And there are wonderful messages from various animals brought by Penelope Smith, and she presents some of those messages on YouTube during the international conference in 2021. And there is a wonderful message from elephants and then from whales. And whales share that their mission is that they are wisdom keepers. And their mission is to keep the wisdom and keep the vision of all living forms as free spirits, as an embodied souls. And this holding vision and wisdom they call greater love. They call greater love. And they send tons of love through the water, through the earth, to support the evolvement or evolution of consciousness, as they say. So it means that they've been serving all the planet and us all the time, all the ages. And it looks like the whales knew that they are souls, and for us, Baba had to come and tell us that we are souls. So there are also other animal messages. You can hear it from dogs, especially if we want to raise our self-respect. It's really great what they say. Shortly, the dogs say that they serve us in all forms, and they love to serve us, and they love to serve us because we are so unique. And because they serving us, they are loved by all the animals even. Because this is such a great role to accompany and serve us. And they serve us with our love so that we play our love roles with love as well. So it's really moving. And what Penelope Smith shares about various animals, it looks like all of them are serving. All of them have a mission. And once I asked a cow, what's the mother cow? What's the mission of the cows? And she answers it to bring peace. Bringing peace is a mission of the cows. And hearing this, it opens a window for understanding of species in totally different ways that we are taught in school. And hearing all the various roles of various animals, it looks like there is a pyramid, that all the animals hold this pyramid and we are on the top. But we think that we are the highest, but in fact, we are on the top only because we are supported by all of them. If not all this support, we will fall down. So that is very interesting. And it is not only that the animals are receptive and understanding, but also the matter. There are many books on communicating with matter. So, because I'm often going home near the sea coast, so at some point I asked the sea, could you please introduce to me yourself, who you are, what you are? And the answer came that I am enabling. And I realized that yes, all the fish can swim, the people can have a holiday and enjoy, the ships can travel on the sea, and all the activity can flourish because of the access to the sea. So yes, the sea is enabling. And at another case, while going on bike over the bridge in Warsaw over the Wisła River, that is the biggest river in Poland, I asked the same question to the Wisła River, who are you? Could you introduce to me what you are? And after a while, when the answer came, it was so powerful that I really stopped. It stopped me. I was moved. She said, I'm Mama. Mama. And that was in old wording, something like Mataji, very sweet, a lot of respect and a lot of sweetness. And yes, that is what is this river for the country. It flows through all the country and supports all the history. Animals can also be mentors for us because they pick up so easily our stage. They fully feel us, what we are, who we are. I remember once with horses, I was about to start the work in a stable, and it was first day. I just once passed in front of the horses, went into the cloakroom, changed my clothes, put the work clothes and cap and everything, and I came through the back door, and standing in front of corridor while crossing it, I said, "Hello, guys," and imagine all the heads of the horses from both sides of the corridor came out, and the horses started producing this deep horse sound that they produce when you give them some very good food that they like, some barley or whatever. And that was it. And I felt that they know who I am, what I am, and what for I am here. Just once. And once I asked the geese during the not so great period that I had, I always been appreciating geese during all my life when they've been flying in the V formation, departing in autumn and arriving on spring. I had tears in my eyes, I couldn't help. So once I asked them, "What's your advice for me?" And the answer came very quick. "We are happy and we want that everyone be happy as well." And they supported it with a laugh. Of course, you cannot compare that laugh to Baba's laugh that takes you beyond your body consciousness, but still. And even small creatures, physically small, like beetles or flies, they have a capacity to understand, to feel, to share, to pick up your thoughts, to respond to you. Once I went for balcony in my flat, and on way back I noticed that there's a wonderful beetle on the mat in front of the door. And when I look closely, I notice that it's terribly damaged. So I ask with a great concern, "Oh dear, what happened to you?" And then I realize that it must be myself. When going out, I must step on it. And in that very moment, I pick up his thought, "Please finish with me so that I do not suffer." And my heart was torn. So I went still to grab something. And when came back, I heard, "I'm almost gone." Anna Breitenbach says that everyone is capable of communicating with animals, and all you need is sincere care for another and an authentic interest in its well-being. That's it. In the internet, there is an excerpts from Animal Communicator movie that I really recommend you to see. And I do not think that all people will become vegans or vegetarians, but if all Brahmins will acknowledge animals for who they are and appreciate for the service they do for us, that will change a lot. Thank you. Om Shanti.